Hello people, MetaWattXLR here bringing you another best to worst list. Anyone who is new to this is objectively organized with my subjective opinion on them. Today's list is on the best to worst silly Nintendo handheld consoles. Keep in mind that my experience with them is varies from big to small, so if I never played them, you're going to have to take it with a grain of salt or sugar. Now with that out of the way, let's begin.
Initially released as an experimental platform ancillary to the then-current Game Boy Advance family, Nintendo DS soon replaced it as Nintendo's flagship handheld device family. The DS was distinguished from its predecessor by featuring a folding clamshell form factor and two screens, the lower screen being a touch screen enabling input with an included stylus pen. It was also Nintendo's first handheld console to have built-in wireless capabilities, supporting both local communication between other DS consoles, and internet communications via the now discontinued Nintendo Wi-Fi connection service.
The DS is what I like to call overrated, considering that the family of consoles for the most part relied on touch controls and button pressing at the same time. It's a pain in the ass. Not all of them do. I know Metroid Prime Hunters is one of the most tedious. Aside from limited special ammo, I think Nintendo 3DS is a lot better than the others. Never played the new 3DS, but it is just a handheld version of the Wii U, but better. If you played the Wii U and 3DS, you should get some ideas. Though people prefer the 2DS because of health reasons, it's still the same, but take one feature out. I wish I could say more, but it's very blurred memory, and I'm not entirely sure why.
The Game Boy is an 8-bit handheld game console developed and manufactured by Nintendo. The first handheld in the Game Boy family, it was first released in Japan in April 1989, then North America, 3 months later, and lastly in Europe, more than 1 year later. It was designed by the same team that developed the Game Watch series of handheld electronic games and several Nintendo Entertainment System games, Satoru Akita, Gunpei Yokoi, and Nintendo Research Development 1. The GBC features a color screen rather than monochrome, but it is not backlit. It is slightly thicker and taller and features a slightly smaller screen than the Game Boy Pocket, its immediate predecessor in the Game Boy line. As with the original Game Boy, it has a custom 8-bit processor made by Sharp that is considered a hybrid between the Intel 8080 and the Zillig Z80. The American English spelling of the system's name, Game Boy Color, remains consistent throughout the world.
Rarely played the Game Boy, never played the Game Boy Color, but I've played the games. It lasted the longest and it was simple. The only best reason to play a Game Boy is to play the Pokemon games. The least reason is to play games on the go for a long time. It is the most endurable console, so much so it survived a nuclear explosion. The problem is with both is that it doesn't light up and you have to replace the batteries. Though it was also on the Advance as well, I will only I only have huge recollection of Pokemon and not so much on others. It's that boring of a console, but thanks to Game Freak, there's a huge reason. Okay, maybe play Tetris as well, but that's not saying enough about it to be the best. It's average. I don't have enough experience to give full context.
The Game Boy Advance family of battery-powered handheld game consoles by Nintendo consists of the Game Boy Advance and its revisions. As of June 30, 2010, 81.51 million units have been sold worldwide. Part of the Game Boy line, it was succeeded by the Nintendo DS line in 2004.
If you would like to know more about the next one, link is in the description below. I'm going to keep it short. The Game Boy Advance was my first Nintendo handheld. Most of my games were on Pokemon, Mario, and so on and so on. It was also a good accessory for the GameCube. The Game Boy Advance SP was backwards compatible with other Game Boy games. The Game Boy Player is good too, though it is not too interesting to have more detail about it. It was better than the original and color. Second verse same as the first.
The Nintendo 3DS is a handheld game console produced by Nintendo. It was announced in March 2010 and unveiled at E3 2010 as the successor to the Nintendo DS. The system features backward compatibility with older Nintendo DS video games. As an 8th generation console, its primary competitor was Sony's PlayStation Vita.
I already talked about the console, so I'll talk about the games and its controls. They were remakes, demos, and so on. Using the controller pad is an interesting concept. I remember playing the Ocarina of Time 3D SSB4, using it to watch videos, customizing the 3DS, and so on and so forth. This is a lot more memorable than the DS family. It was discontinued because of Nintendo Switch. Iwata, rest in peace. At least that's how you say his name. And that's it for this list. I'm sorry if I didn't have much to say about the handhelds. I have low memory of them. Like, comment, share the video, subscribe, and click on the bell to get notified for more of my work. Follow me on these sites in the description below. Be sure to follow Josh on Twitch and Patreon for charity and the credit he deserves. Check out my other content in the outro to see if you like them. Sign off.